Hello friends, do you love tea and natural wellness products as much as I do? I've partnered with Positively Tea and Positively Botanicals, and I can honestly say I drink their organic loose leaf tea almost every day, and I love it. From organic teas to natural remedies, they offer high-quality products that support a healthy, mindful lifestyle. When you shop through my affiliate link, you not only discover amazing products for yourself, but you also help support the podcast. Visit the link in the show notes to explore their selections today. And for you coffee lovers, they have you covered as well. Treat yourself, support the show, and keep connecting with the natural world. Hello friends, and welcome back to the Nature Wanderer podcast. I'm Paul, and today I'd like to take you on a hike. I want to encourage you to get out and enjoy nature. So I'm at Knox Farm State Park right now, and I am enjoying a nice springtime day. This is a great time of year to come out and enjoy nature, going out and being a part of nature. And today you can hear the birds singing along a row of maples right now. Some really old maples. They're beautiful, awesome maples. And the buds are coming out on the trees. Lots of buds. Buds are actually formed in the fall, in the autumn. And it's basically a compacted leaf that allowed the tree to use its last little bit of energy before it went into that dormant, that sleep state. You may hear some sloshing a little bit because it is springtime, which means rain and wet ground. So yes, we do have some wet ground here. I'm actually walking through the grass because I'm checking nest boxes, because it's that time of year too. Where we get all the baby birds. The bird's singing right now, that's a robin you're hearing. And that robin is actually calling to its mate, saying, hey, let's start a family here. So that's another reason I love hiking in the spring, and I encourage you, get out in the springtime, do some hiking in the spring. Because during the spring, you've got all this life. It's all about renewal. That's what I always like to consider spring is all about renewal. Starting over again, because nature kind of went to sleep. It was still here, but it went to sleep over the winter, and now it's time for it to basically come back. Come back to life, to renew. And so that's what this is all about here, is nature is renewing itself in the spring. So like I said, the trees, some of the maples, the leaves, you can actually see they look like leaves. Others are just buds that are just starting to open up. There's some young trees that they just planted to replace some of the ones that got a little too old and fell. The grasses are greening up. The bushes are greening up. It's a beautiful, sunny, warm spring day. It's about 70 degrees. So really get out and enjoy. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about some of the things that I see along the trail here, some of the signs of spring. I'm seeing around this tree I'm walking next to here, some of the shoots coming up around it. All the moss around it is turning nice and bright green. Over the winter, the moss even went to sleep a little bit, but now it's starting to green up. It's looking good. And the birds, I've only been out here for a short while, and I've already seen quite a few different birds, and I can hear them all calling. They're calling for their mates. I'm sure I'll see some other signs of mating rituals with some of the other. Yep, I actually see mammals too, but there's a hawk circling overhead right now, and there's another one not too far from it. So they're starting to pair up. I'm sure this is a pair. They may have a nest around here somewhere. I know there is a hawk nest, a red-tailed hawk nest around here. and they're going to be doing their mating rituals, and they'll start raising a family pretty soon if they haven't started already. The bluebirds, haven't seen any yet. And all the boxes I've checked so far have been empty, but I know there is a box up here that I checked last week and it had some eggs in it. So hopefully that one's still here. Yep, all these are empty. I think it was the next box up here a little ways that has the eggs in it. So these are all signs of springs. Some of the mammals I've been noticing, they've been starting to be more active during the winter. They even go into a little bit of a rest. I mean, they still have to eat. There are some that hibernate in western New York, but there's also quite a few of them who stay active in the winter time. And now, this time of year, they're starting to look for mates as well. We just had Groundhog's Day a few months ago, and that was basically the groundhogs looking for a mate. And let's see if we have anything in here. Oh, we do have a nest in this one. There's nothing in the nest, but that is a bluebird nest. Although I think some other animal was here too, because there's a carcass. What's left of looks like a mouse carcass on top of the box. So he may have had a kestrel or some small hawk who caught the mouse and decided this is a good place to eat. And let's see. Oh, we have another nest here. Nothing in it. So we do have a nest, which is good. So yeah, the bluebirds have been starting to nest. I know I have some eggs along here somewhere, because like I said, I'm doing my nest watch here, and that's once a week, every 5 days actually, that I check my nests. And last week I had 4 bluebird eggs in the one box. Okay. Oh, there's another bird. Oh, there's the bluebird up in the tree there. Yeah, so we've got some bluebirds hanging around. And this one's probably like, oh, here comes that guy bothering my nest. I'm real quick at it. As I'm coming along the trail here, there's a tree that didn't do well over the winter, and I'm going to check it out. There's some holes in the side of it from the insects. Yeah, it's a big chunk, like half of the tree actually broke off. I can see inside it's all rotted and lots of holes. The insects have already been eating away at it. This tree's been sick for a while. You can tell there's big woodpecker holes in the top part, but the inside it's like really rotted away, which means this tree has been sick for quite a while now. And as I come around to this next tree up here, I like checking the base of the tree and see what's up. We got a dandelion here. Yeah, so a lot of people call it a weed. I never like to use that term weed. A weed is something that doesn't have a purpose. Everything has a purpose. Maybe not for us, but for someone or something. So that dandelion, have you ever had dandelion wine? It can be good. I've never made a good batch, but it can be good. Insects need it for pollination, for food, the bees love it for making honey for us. So don't call it a weed. It's a beautiful flower. And this maple here, the buds are still closed on it. I'm looking at them. They're just about ready, though. They're just about ready to sprout open. It's been a little bit up and down on the temperature, so some of the trees are still waiting. But most of the trees are starting to open up. As I look across the field, I can see a tree in the distance where it's all white. Oh, there's another one, yeah. A couple of them are all white. So they've got flowers that have opened up already. And those flowers are going to attract the insects. As I was coming up here earlier, I had a bee buzz in front of my face. So the insects are pretty active already. And yeah, all these are signs of spring. I love it. I don't know. There's a like 3 dandelions around the base of this tree. So dandelions are starting to come up. I always love seeing the fields that are just covered in yellow. Just the dandelions and some of the other flowers too, but I always love seeing that. A lot of people, they don't like seeing that because to them, once again, dandelions are weeds, but to me, it's spring. This is food for all those insects that need that nectar to create food for us, like honey. I've got trees up in the, and I've got birds up in the tree here. I'm trying to see what it is. Looks like a, can't tell. He keeps hopping out of my view. And it actually looks like a flycatcher. He's got a narrow, thin beak. Yep, there he goes. Off to find some more insects to eat. So, got a flycatcher. They're probably looking for food, or maybe they're looking for some nesting material. A lot of birds in this park. Especially in the spring, I see so many more birds because the birds are nesting. At my old property, I see this too in the springtime, where the birds are out looking for material to build their nests, but there are so many different species nesting on my little 12 acres. This park here, I don't remember exactly how many acres, but I know it's over 100 acres, and I can, the number of birds here, the number of species is just incredible. So there's so many. Oh, bluebird just flew out of this box as I'm approaching this. I'm glad it went out. This is one of our new style boxes. We just built some new boxes. Oh, nice. Last time I was here, there were 4 eggs in this box. Now there's 5. So I got to write that down. We put out some new boxes because we were having some problems with house sparrows getting at the boxes. They're getting in and killing the bluebirds, actually, and the babies. So we designed some new boxes that are house sparrow resistant. We'll put it that way. So this one here is one of those new designs, and I guess this guy knew that, oh yeah, this is a good box to build in. And we also went around the park and we paired up the boxes. And what I mean by that is we made it so that there's always at least 2 boxes together. So if you have only one box, what happens is the European house sparrows, they'll take over one box, or you'll get the tree swallows taking over a box, and then the other birds, the other house sparrows or the tree sparrows, they'll stay away. So they'll stay away from the other box because they're territorial. So they don't like being next to a member of their own species. So if you have 2 boxes and the house sparrow comes in, builds a nest in one, they're going to defend the other box from another house sparrow building next to them, leaving it open for the bluebirds. And the bluebirds, they don't like nesting next to each other either, but hey, leaves the boxes open for the bluebirds is what we're trying to do. So last year we went around, we put these boxes up and we doubled them up. We put some of the new style, which are house sparrow resistant boxes, just the design of them. So I'm actually entering the woods now. My trail is mostly along the edge of the woods, my bluebird trail. But I'm entering the woods now, and I'm seeing the trout lily coming up. If you've never seen trout lily is one of our spring ephemerals. Right now, like I said, the leaves are starting to open on the trees, but most of them are just still very small, so there's lots of sunlight coming through, heating up the forest. And the spring ephemerals, the early, if we got a woodpecker, it sounds like a a red belly woodpecker. Could be a pileated. I know there's a pileated over here somewhere too, but usually they're in the other section of the park. But anyhow, spring ephemerals, they come up early, grab the sunlight, grab that energy and they turn that energy and give it to the roots. The flower comes up, and all of this is done in early spring when they can get the sunlight. Once the leaves are fully open in the canopy, the forest floor loses all that sunlight, and what happens is they basically go into a dormant state. So they have to do this early in the spring. Matter of fact, I've got some trout lily here that has the yellow flowers on. There's 6 petals to the flower. It's bright, really rich yellow. The leaves actually are spotted. They look like the side of a trout, which is where the nickname trout lily comes from. The flower looks like a lily flower. Usually it's hanging downward, so it grows and that kind of goes down, so you have to lift the flower up to actually see the inside of the flower. So that's trout lily. There's a lot of the yellow flower in this area, a lot of the trout lily. We got some leeks coming up as well. Another great sign of spring. I love seeing the leeks. I've made potato leek soup before. I haven't done that in a long time. The leeks, also known as wild onion, if you pull them up, not easy to do, but if you can pull them up and you can get to the bulb of the plant, it's onion shaped and it smells like onion and it tastes like onion as well. So that's what you use in a potato leek soup, is that bulb. So we've got those coming up. We've got the trout lily. I usually see the most signs of spring in the forest area here. I'm actually watching where I step. I'm going through the woods. I'm off trail now because I got to get over to the nest boxes that I'm monitoring. And so in this area here, lots of trout lily, and there's lots of other spring ephemerals coming up here as well. And the trout lily, I've used that in salads before. It has kind of, I don't use a lot of it, but I do use some. Just like leeks, you gotta be careful how much you eat. They're very strong, oniony plant, and I have had kids get pretty sick from eating them, so you don't want to eat too many of them. But trout lily, the leaf actually tastes kind of like a sour apple. And I actually found a batch here of very young mayapple, speaking of apple. So we've got these beautiful plants here. You get 2 leaves, and basically the stem comes up. You get 2 leaves coming off of it. And in the middle, right now, I'm seeing just a tiny little green apple, maybe about a 1/2 inch in diameter. As it gets bigger, it gets to be about surprise. Sorry for the side note here. I got a garter snake. It's about, probably about 1 foot long. Tiny little guy. I think it's a garter. Let me get a closer look. He's going so fast. Yeah, that's a garter snake. Not a garden snake like a lot of people think. It's called a garter snake. Garter snakes are one of the few snakes that actually gives live birth. They don't lay eggs. They actually give birth to live snakes, baby snakes. So a tiny little garter snake. Good to see him out. Another sign of spring. Those guys hibernate all winter. Yeah, they go into what we call a hibernaculum. So they will actually find, sometimes it's groundhog den or some other den that's already been dug. They can't dig their own hole. This guy's actually up by the trunk of the tree where there's a lot of leaves, and he's kind of going in and out of the leaves. Doesn't want to go in there too long. He wants to be out in the sun, so I'm going to move on just to leave him alone so he can go about his business. So anyhow, those guys have been hibernating all winter in their hibernaculum, and now they're out. It's like, yes, it's springtime. I can go about my business again. And yeah, they actually group up together in that hibernaculum. So they keep each other warm by spreading their body heat. And they're a cold-blooded animal. So they don't like it when it's cold, which is why they hibernate. I have some spring beauties coming up here in this neck of the woods. Yeah, there's forest here. So a lot of spring ephemerals here. I was talking about May apples. As it gets bigger, it usually gets about an inch in diameter. The fruit, that little apple in the middle, turns a bright red, and they're very sweet at that point. Now, anything that I talk about here, that I talk about how it's edible, do not touch unless you absolutely know it, unless you're with someone who knows it, and they say it's okay. You know, there's a lot of lookalikes out there, so anything I say here is not advice to, hey, try this. No, it is not. Not at all. I don't want you trying anything in the forest. I know my plants. I know which ones are edible and which ones are not. Okay, so just leaving it there. Usually I don't get to taste the mayapple because usually the deer get to it before I do. The leaves of the mayapple are poisonous, so this is what I'm talking about. You never know. You have to be careful. There's actually a really big patch here of mayapple, a little bit deeper in the woods. I'm not going over there, but yeah, a little bit deeper in the woods is a big patch of the mayapple. So pretty nice section of the woods here. I always love this area. This is one of my favorite woods at the park. It's the one kind of closest to the parking area, the main parking area. You have to walk across the field to get to it, but this is always such a great woods. Unfortunately, it's also one of the more popularly traveled areas, so you usually get a lot of people. But I picked a good day today to come. It's a Friday, and not everyone's out of work yet, so yeah, I've got the park pretty much myself. I've only seen about 5 people so far. A little girl climbing a tree, a very thin tree. Boy, I remember those days when I was young enough to do that. Now I don't think I'd get up that tree, and some people would be yelling at that little girl, not me. It's like, yeah, that's what trees are for. They're meant to be climbed. Enjoy nature. Get out and be a kid. I'm always encouraging you, adults too. Get out and be kids. We've got some burdock starting to come up. Burdock is a 2-year plant, biennial. Right now the leaves are coming up, but there's some stalks here too. So the stalks died off. That was the 2nd year plant. So this is a brand new plant coming up from the seeds that were dropped below. And the 1st year you'll just get leaves. The 2nd year you get the big stalk with the seed pods on it. So that's how you can tell the burdock. So it's very young right now. So exiting the woods right now. I'll go back into them a little bit later, but right now I want to keep checking my nest boxes here. As I'm coming out into the field, I'm keeping an eye out in the field because usually this time of year you get some of the field species, some of the meadowlark, and you'll sometimes get some, oh, there goes a cardinal just flew by. It's a female. The male is very bright red this time of year. And some people ask me, well, why are the males so colorful and the females so dull? Well, the female is the one usually who's sitting on the nest. The males are the ones who are trying to find a mate. That's their main job. Some, depends on the species, some males will help raise the young. Others are just there to continue the species, we'll put it that way. And so in order to attract a female, the males have to put on their best suit. They have to look beautiful. And a lot of what we're seeing is not everything. No, they see in the ultraviolet. So the birds will see the ultraviolet. And some birds will look very beautiful in the ultraviolet, which also helps them to attract a mate. Opened up the box and I'm at a nest box. This is an older one, but I opened it up and out flies a whole bunch of small little moths. Yeah, the moths of spring. They're also part of the signs of spring. So I'm watching the field here because you often get, in this field you'll get the bobolinks, I don't know if they're back yet. I haven't heard or seen them. Love their call. One of my favorite birds, the bobolinks. But you get bobolinks. Sometimes you get bobwhite in the field here. You'll get the meadowlarks. So you get a lot of different field species. Field sparrows. Not seeing a lot of action, but it is afternoon. So usually the best time for birding is early morning. I'm not seeing a lot out there. I'm seeing a lot of groundhog holes here. They don't look very active though. I don't see a lot of dirt around them. Groundhog's very interesting how they will actually dig that hole out and they mound the dirt outside the hole. They don't care if anyone sees that hole. Yeah, they don't care because, hey, not many animals go after groundhogs. I don't know if they don't taste good. I honestly don't know, because every time I see a groundhog dead at the side of the road, even the vultures don't seem to be eating it. Nothing seems to eat them, even if they were freshly killed. I'll see them start the bloating phase, the rigor mortis, they go through all of that, and they'll sit there. Nothing seems to eat groundhog, I don't know why, but anyhow, they're such a big animal. They usually don't hide their dirt outside their hole, whereas like a chipmunk will dig the hole and they spread the dirt around. They want to spread it around to make it so that no one knows where their hole is. They're a small animal. A lot of predators go after them, so they want to make sure that they can live for another day. And just had a songbird. Oh, it looks like a couple of them chasing each other. Looks like tree sparrows. I've got some grackles on the ground here. So yeah, I've got quite a few birds hanging out around here. That's kind of neat. Okay, now I'm walking along the edge of the woods here. Different section of the park. I'm actually coming across these 3 deer, white-tailed deer, standing in front of me. They're probably about, I'm going to say about 40 feet away right now. And they're just watching me. I mean, they're used to people in the park here, and they don't scare too easily, but you can't get real close to the deer here. And I always advise people, don't try to get close to deer. Don't feed the deer. They're doing fine on their own, especially in a park like this. But they're all, you can actually see their fur is changing over. And in the wintertime, they have a really coarse, thick fur, and it's hollow. And that actually acts as a better insulation. Air always acts as an extra insulation layer. So that hollow fur helps to keep them warm in the winter. And then this time of year, they really start to shed. And I can see the one is really showing some signs of shedding. But they're starting to get the nice, soft summer fur. And the one, I can tell which one is the lead. It took off first with its tail up in the air. And you can see them. That's kind of a warning to all the other deer that, oh yeah, there's danger around. You know, stay away. There's danger. Run. And so that was the warning. They were letting the others know, hey, yeah, this guy's getting a little too close. He should be down on the trail over there, but you know, I'm not. Sorry, guys, but I'm moving real slow because I don't want to disturb them. I don't want them to run away too fast and, you know, get into a dangerous situation. But yep, okay, they're headed towards the woods now. That's good. So I always love seeing the deer in the springtime. Got this big old maple next to me here. Half the tree is dead, but it's still going strong. It's still the half that's alive. You can see where a piece broke off. The trunk split probably about 10 feet up in the air, and half of it is still growing, going strong. And the other half is dead. Coming into some taller brush here. and that's starting to blossom as well. Getting the multiflora rose. If you're not familiar with multiflora rose, it was introduced to our country. The government actually, the U.S. government actually paid farmers to plant it, figuring it was good food for the animals, for the birds, not realizing that an invasive species like that doesn't have any predators, and it's just going to take over, and that's what it did. Multiflora rose takes over a lot of fields now. So multiflora rose is coming up here, very thorny, beautiful plant in the spring when it's got the little rose buds on it, little white rose buds. But yeah, it's an invasive species. We also have some Japanese knotweed here. No. We also have some honeysuckle, Japanese honeysuckle here. That's another one that was encouraged to be planted by the government, and a lot of farmers took them up on the program. And unfortunately, though, that's another invasive and really started taking over. So all these things are ways that we, in trying to help nature, actually harmed it. That's where science comes in. You know, listen to the scientists, but the government doesn't always do that. Sometimes they do, but not always. And now, because of that, we've got a lot of invasive species in the country. You're hearing dried leaves under my feet. All the leaves that were left over from the fall that got caught up in the tall brush and the tall grasses. And what that does is it turns back into compost. So these leaves are great in the forest. The dead leaves, the brown leaves, people who rake up their woods, you know, that's actually harming the forest. It may make it look pretty for you, but it's harming the forest because the trees are using those leaves for nutrients. It breaks down, they break down, the insects eat them, breaks them down even more, and all the nutrients are released into the soil, helping the trees grow, helping the other plants grow. So it's good to have them in the forest. Oh, and I'm seeing a young maple. It's only about a foot tall. Young maple, and I don't even see, oh yeah, there's a maple tree over here. Yeah, if you listen to my seed dispersal episode, I talk about the seed dispersal and how sometimes they just fall straight down and they'll be planted under mom or dad, but then they don't always survive. No, this one's right under an adult maple, so we'll wish it luck and move on. And there's a white pine here that I'm passing now. They stay alive all winter long. I mean, they'll lose some branches, but yeah, it's got the 5 needles on it and packages of 5. That always tells me it's a white pine. And beautiful trees. I always love the white pine. They don't have that Christmas tree shape, that triangle shape. They do have a kind of a loose shape. It's kind of all over the place. The branches are all over. There's a bird overhead in the pines I'm passing now. It was making a ruckus, probably warning everyone that, hey, there's a human here. So anyhow, all these signs of spring today. It's beautiful out here. And I really highly encourage you, get outdoors, explore nature. Do like the little kid I'm watching right now in the distance here, running through the mud puddle with just his shorts and a t-shirt and his rubber boots on. And he's just having a grand old time in the little puddle in the driveway. But yeah, so get out, explore nature, see how many signs of spring you can find in your neck of the woods. Whether it's your backyard, whether it's in a park, a state park, a local park. This is actually a state park that I'm in. But get outdoors, walk around your neighborhood, and start exploring the signs of nature. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed listening to the podcast, please, I encourage you to share it with your friends. Hit the like button. Go to the show notes and check out all the information in the show notes as well. So get outside, explore nature, and keep exploring the nature around you. Have a great day. Hello, friends. I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. Keep exploring the nature around you and keep journaling all your wanderings. Hey there, fellow nature wanderers. If you're like me, you love spending time outdoors, breathing in that fresh air and connecting with the natural world. But at home, have you ever thought about what's in the products you use every single day? That's why I'm excited to share Apple Valley Natural Soap with you. Their handcrafted all-natural soaps are made with organic ingredients, essential oils, and no harsh chemicals. Awesome! So they're not only great for your skin, but they're safe for the planet. And they don't just stop at soap. Apple Valley Natural Soap also carries a full line of natural skincare products, including shampoos, body butters, facial bars, and more, all designed to nourish your skin without synthetic ingredients. You can't beat that. That's just awesome. Whether you're hiking in the woods or just winding down after a long day, their products bring a little bit of nature right into your home. And the best part? By supporting Apple Valley Natural Soap through The Nature Wanderer, you're also supporting this podcast. Just head to the show notes and click on the link for Apple Valley Natural Soap. So go ahead, treat yourself and the environment to something better. Your skin and Mother Nature will thank you.